Hey everyone, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk Taskmaster Australia. And we're here for our second episode, feeling pretty darn optimistic, I think. The first episode was strong. It's doing all the things right. I like our Taskmaster and our Taskmaster's assistant, and they aren't trying to force themselves into the Greg and Alex roles. They're being their own people, and yet, the Taskmaster has laid down the law. There were plenty of disqualifications in the first episode. Our assistant, I've got to find out a better way to refer to them, because I can't just call them Tom and Tom. That's not going to be helpful. So once I remember their last names, maybe that's the way we'll do it. But yeah, the assistant, he's got his own energy. He's running the show well. I'm happily impressed so far. The cast, they seem like a really good selection of contestants. We've got a couple of wacky wild cards. We've got a bunch of people who seem to be fairly competent. People are taking it seriously, but not super seriously. And the tasks themselves are fun and well designed. I think that's one of the strengths. I'm 99% sure this is fully the same production company that runs Taskmaster New Zealand. Obviously, we're using the same house in New Zealand, but I wouldn't be surprised if the powers that be at the top are the same. That being said, I think the camera crew, at least, is different, because my one gripe with the first episode is in the commercial break and no, sorry, not the commercial break footage. It's the play into a new task footage, because the original, the UK version, has created this really sort of unique style, which is actually a bit of a knockoff of Sherlock's cinematography. It's close-ups on various items in the house. There's interesting little rack focuses and stuff, and they're trying to emulate that on this show, but it really just ends up being shots that are out of focus 80% of the time. And they're not replicating what I think they're going for, which is a shame. I think they put their B camera assistant on an assignment to just shoot some B-roll and play with the focus, and it's not doing what they wanted. But considering that's my only gripe from the first episode, I think the show is doing really well, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. I think it's too early to tell who the super strong contestants are. I think it's likely that Luke and Nina remain the wild cards that occasionally knock a task out of the park, but probably fail more than odds would suggest. And most episodes will end up being won by the other three contestants, namely Danielle, Jimmy, and Julia. Danielle won the first one. Julia was right in the race with her. But yeah, I'm excited for another episode. So I'm going to stop talking. Let's jump into it, guys. This is episode 2 of series 1 of Taskmaster Australia.
Tonight I had the distinct pleasure of watching them attempt things and deciding who is good and who is shit. It's the job of a lifetime. My assistant, Tom Cashman.
Cashman and Gleeson. Cashman's the assistant, Gleeson's the master. We'll try and refer to them that way.
2 minutes and 25 seconds. I've also got 71%. And if you think those are good, just wait till they're in context.
I like him.
2, 3, and 4 points will also be given based on the level of tickling.
A brilliant system, terribly explained.
The most satisfying thing to touch.
Ooh.
I've always believed the most satisfying thing to touch is a nation's heart. Jimmy, what do you got?
Just
I
not
have
literally.
3 children, and I brought in kinetic sand, okay?
Okay.
This is everywhere in my house, and it's very satisfying to touch.
I've never actually played with kinetic sand, but I've seen it.
The Union Valley spot on your hand.
Oh.
This spot.
Do you realise that spot is also on your own hand and you could have sat down and...
Could have just done that.
Sit down over there.
It's supposed to relieve headaches and backaches.
I'm not sure about this one. You're saying it's satisfying to touch. How much joy are you giving and how much are you receiving?
Do you try it? Like,
I don't want to try it.
The better place to touch
Nina,
if you need to
what
cure a
did you
headache.
bring in for us
There's
tonight?
a notch in your eyebrow ridge, which when you massage.
Molded in one of those hand pinny thingies that you touch. I don't know, what do you call it?
I don't know. You brought it in.
I really hope that you like it because there was a real pin in my ass.
Don't applaud. You'll make it worse.
The most satisfying thing to touch, which is sensitive weed. The leaves open up, and then when you touch them, they...
Oh yeah. Those, I know those. They're fun. When she said sensitive weed, I was thinking really weird other things.
just sit on the ground and stroke those plants.
Okay. I'm guessing you were on your own?
There's a few other kids like me, and if you could fit 3 kids around, you would. If not, you'd be very protective of your patch of weeds.
She wasn't doing shot put, she was staying put.
Oh, yeah.
Am I allowed to make you lose points? Okay. what
It's a
is
heart.
That's the prostate.
Oh.
that? Have you touched one?
I'm not legally allowed to talk about whether I've touched it or not. Apparently, boom, crash, opera.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Boom, crash, opera.
Luke's on one, definitely.
you didn't even try it.
Do you want me to try?
I guess.
All right, I'll
So-
try. One. There we go. And Danielle, I'm going to give 5 points to, just because I feel sorry for her sitting on her own at an athletics day.
Pity points.
Danielle is...
Deflated balloons? Is that what I'm looking at? I can't tell. It's so blurry.
Let the cat out of the bag.
Once you touch a bag, you must open it.
Fewest bag openings wins.
Your time starts. Meow.
That's now.
Do you like that joke?
Yeah, it's very clever.
Terrible. There's going to be a lot of bad puns on this series, I think.
While opening as few bags as possible.
Okay. Variation on a theme, but I like this style of task.
The cat is here.
Is that a cat?
Don't think so.
Is that a cat?
Oh, so just various stuffies?
There's a bowl and a chili.
Right.
I know you, Tom. There's a pattern to it all. Milk, 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 ice, ice.
Baby.
What? I've got it. I figured it
No,
out.
you got to figure out a
It's game
strategy.
of
Don't
warm,
just...
cold.
Warm, cold.
Chili is hot. Chili. So I'm
Okay.
getting warmer. There's a sausage,
Yep.
or maybe it's a chorizo.
It's a hot dog.
This one is.
He's
Can I get
coming.
a drum roll, please, Tom? This one is. A cat.
Okay, but he opened a lot of bags. I wonder if there's another solve other than getting warmer, getting colder. And chilies could be interpreted 2 different ways. So that's ambiguous.
Jimmy opened a total of 22 bags.
It's a lot of bags.
And I have to let it out? Is there like salsa in this bag? Okay. Oh, it's a bunny. Oh, shit. Come on, come on, come on.
In 2 bags? She did it in 2?
Oh, cool.
See?
How do you feel?
I feel like I won this one.
Moment of genius.
I feel like I might win this whole show.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're that
Oh.
confident just after this.
Yeah,
that's...
I'll bet you $50.
$50.
Oh, well,
Great.
wow. Kiss that $50 goodbye, Nina.
Nina opened 2 bags in total.
It's going to be tough to beat.
All right.
But
break.
I wonder if there's another way of discovering other than the hot, cold food thing.
Nina, 2 bags Oyama, is currently in the lead.
It's a good nickname, 2 bags.
Maybe there'd be something to give me a clue somewhere.
Oh, right.
What's the cat collar about? Maybe there's something
cat.
to do with it.
Yeah, that's a cat. It doesn't look like it, but it's a cat. Is that an arrow?
Oh, no, you've just spelt cat. Oh, it's in the shape of a cat head.
I'm gonna go upstairs and look down. Maybe there's something I'm missing.
Okay. It's in the
Spell
shape...
cat.
No.
There's a, okay.
That's an arrow.
Is there?
To this
Oh.
one.
Oh my God!
I think is in this.
Oh. So they both did it in one. That's awesome.
Jimmy and Nina, are you still feeling clever?
Oh, Jimmy.
Did you remove the arrow for when I went up and looked on the roof? Damn it!
No,
Did
that
Jimmy
arrow
go
was
on the
definitely
roof?
Still there. While you were
And
walking
looked?
all over it, playing hot and cold for no reason. Just out of curiosity, how many of you thought it would be a live cat?
I thought just in case I should find it fast.
You're worried about its safety.
Yeah.
I peed before nearly every task, just in case, you know, because you never know.
But we shot like 12 tasks a day. Do you have a UTI?
No, never had one because I keep it clean and flowing.
12 a day. That's a good fact
Luke
to know.
opened 4 bags in total.
Oh,
Danielle opened the cat on her first bag.
yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Luke checked out a couple before figuring it out.
Oh, no, that's a seal. I feel like it's over here.
Oh,
Hang on, does it
she's
say
gonna pull.
something?
She's gonna pull. Yeah.
TCAT. Someone has reached out to the shareholders today. That's, oh, Lammy. Hey? I mean, takes ages to get rid of them. Have we got time to stop for a droney?
What's that?
Droney.
I want to see if there's any rhyme nor reason to it. So it doesn't feel like there is. Kitty, 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 kitty. The drone hasn't got it, has it?
Well, the drone's there for a reason.
Hi, Ducky. No! They don't call it a snow leopard for
Well,
nothing.
Jimmy's getting 2 points.
I think that's a wombat. Hello, Lemmy. Polar bear. Here we go.
There we
Hello.
go.
Meow. Who's this? Who's this? Who's that?
You took less time than Jimmy, but you opened way more bags. You opened 71 bags.
71. Oh, it's terrible.
3 to Luke, 4 to Nina, and the winner of the task is Danielle with 5 points.
I like that task a lot. Really well designed.
I'd like more tasks.
Okay, I suppose I better bring you another one.
Oh, the bad puns on this series might get tiring. We'll see. Right now, I'm in a dad joke frame of mind because of The Last of Us, so I'm cool with it for now. Phone related.
Call an older family member and make them hang up on you.
Fastest wins.
Your time starts when they answer the call. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This is...
that's hard.
It's hard.
That's really hard.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Jimmy.
Hello. Pleasant surprise.
It's a smart tactic. It's a really smart tactic.
Why are you cutting out?
They're both being smart about this. Hang up.
Are you in the toilet? Can't even hear you now.
Just hang up. That's the best thing. Just be silent.
Hello?
Hang up. There we go. Okay. Smart tactics for both of them.
Is that someone you talk to often, Jimmy?
Yeah. She's here.
Is that the person you
That's
called?
my auntie. She's here.
Auntie, love it.
Surprise when he called. So I rambled on about, oh, I love your book.
I feel like we're reliving the phone call.
Jimmy achieved a hang-up in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Nina achieved it in 1 minute and 8 seconds.
1 minute, 8 seconds. That's solid. I'm not sure I would have come up with the idea to make it a bad connection.
This next contestant's phone number has 2 zeros, a 3, 4 8s, a 5, a 7, and 2 9s. But not in that order. Here's Danielle Walker.
Hello?
Hello. Hi.
How are you? Hi?
What's the tactic here?
Pepper.
Where are you, Dan? Hello?
I can't do it. Hey, Nana, I can't do this. I think Nana's worried. Sorry, I've got to be disqualified from that because I
Wow.
was stressed out. Nana was worried. My Nana would definitely think I was on drugs.
You were making concerning noises.
I know, why did I do that?
Yeah, why did
That
you
was
do
the
that?
worst tactic. Oh boy.
Sounded like you were having a medical emergency.
Like you were ODing.
Well, it's admirable how much you care about your family, but unfortunately it counts for nothing on this show.
We're not going to give her an extra point for being cute?
No. 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 No cuteness points on this show.
I've heard what the crowd thinks, and the answer's no.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd have been disappointed.
Oh, hello, hello.
Okay, we're just being dead silent. Yeah, that's the way.
Thank you.
That's the way. That's the way.
It's not a great task from me output-wise, but it did the trick.
I must say, your theme's emerging, Julia. You seem to do the best when you put in the least amount of effort.
Oh, welcome to my career, Tom.
I have watched it, and I have noticed that.
And I thought, who can I call that's going to hang up immediately? So I called my agent.
I was just about to say.
After 17 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to call Mum because she's retired, and then I'll just try and wrap it up.
Oh, this is going to take forever.
Hi, Ian, how you going?
Good.
Bad strategy.
Just looking up recipes on the computer.
Oh, right, you do that. You're like, I don't want anything to distract me while I'm doing that, so.
Oh no, you're stressed away.
Great.
Where are you? Just at
He's
home?
going to have an hour-long phone call with his
yeah,
mom
yeah,
on TV now.
How did your date with the girl in Sydney go, by the way?
Thanks.
Got dark all of a sudden now.
Oh.
Which is great.
Not that I want to get off the phone or anything, but
Oh. Too good a son.
Celia's baby is cute, yeah.
They've gone down so much, though, haven't they, shares?
Shares have gone down, yeah.
Oh, never call your
I mean, the first
retared
one,
mother.
I didn't feel like I needed a sequel, but anyway, don't again. I was just checking how much better I had left. And I'm doing pretty good.
No.
I had my Facebook hacked the
Oh.
other week because I couldn't remember what the password was.
Don't say that loud. You never know who's listening. So this will never stop.
I love going to the game when I'm in Melbourne, though.
Oh, yeah. It is, yeah. Being amongst the crowd.
Anyway, I've let you go. Thank you for ringing.
Love you guys.
Love you
Aw.
too, lady.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
See you, dear. Thanks again for calling.
No worries, Mum. Good talking to you.
You too. Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Oh, I feel his pain.
It's a close race.
The phone call went for exactly 20 minutes.
Oh, that's it. Oh, I felt like it was hours.
You covered a total of 34 topics. So the winner of this task is Julia with 5 points.
I mean, terrible performance, but I kind of love that. That was awesome. It was a brilliantly designed task, and the only tactic is it has to be a bad call.
Do the bravest thing with this ream of paper.
Bravest thing wins.
Bravest thing with a piece of paper.
Do you have a shark? No.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, doubly weak.
All right, now the task.
I mean, do you go the jackass route and give yourself paper cuts?
Just doing a brave thing, holding a ream of paper. I mean, that could be interpreted that way, couldn't it, really? Do the bravest thing with this ream of paper. One of my fears is actually being, like, poked in the eye with a spoke of an umbrella.
I guess if I wrapped my head in paper and then just went for a long walk, that would scare me. But is that brave to do that, or is that dumb?
They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah. It might be fun to have obstacles on the way.
Okay.
Final boss? Final boss.
Final boss.
This is.
It says Sharpie permanent marker, fine point, safe to breathe.
All right, don't tell me if I'm going to hit something.
Okay.
How much time we got left?
1 minute and 19 seconds.
I'm never going to make it.
No. No! The wind's got it!
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, but
Oh.
it's okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, I'm actually I like Jimmy's thing here.
Now, I'd say that for most people, wrapping paper around your head and walking around a yard isn't that frightening. So it was more of an internal struggle.
Yeah, once I'd sort of breathed in the fumes, I actually felt quite relaxed.
To be fair, the paper did really have nothing to do with the task, but you are claiming it didn't have to be.
But if I knew that, it would have been way easier to walk without my head covered in paper.
True, you could have just held a ream of paper, sat down in a chair and been anxious.
I'd like a printer.
Like, bravery to me is like vulnerability.
Talking about politics, I suppose.
That's bravery.
I think it is.
Is it?
Left wing?
Wow.
I've never said that out loud.
What am I doing with my life?
We should be a republic.
Oh.
You know I'm never going to be invited anywhere again. I really want to use the word.
Like, I'm self-aware about how cringe this is.
But if the Taskmaster disagrees, he's a rich white man. Anyway, this is my last job. Just wanted to say I've really enjoyed my career.
This is my bravest thing.
Oh. That is vulnerable.
The audience always likes that.
Yeah, that's why I did it. It's not because I ran out of ideas or anything. I just wanted to say something that was, like, vulnerable and relatable, and, like, I cry when I masturbate was too long.
There you go. She's back. We were worried that you were going to be sincere there for a second, but you fixed it, didn't you? I really appreciate it. Because we're a comedy show. Julia, people at home will be so inspired by just how brave you were as a woman who works in the arts being vaguely left-wing.
Oh, I know!
So what has Danielle done? The format of this show so far is always leaving one contestant for after the commercial break.
I might attack the geese. I'm going to go take these so I can quickly make a sword.
Do you fear your granddad's geese?
Yes, because my nana said that they took a chunk out of the back of her leg. They attacked her. You ready?
Yeah.
Great, let's go.
What are you yelling?
Honk, honk.
Oh, I see.
Honk honk.
Come over here so I can fight you. Honk, honk.
Canadian geese.
This is getting real now. It's a bit spooky.
Yeah.
Honk, honk. Honk. Oh. I beat him.
You beat them?
Open to interpretation. I like her creativity. The paper sword and shield is good.
How big was the chunk?
Oh, like I guess like a 50-cent piece, but geese about size.
You-
I've been attacked by geese as well. It's frightening. They really come at you.
They're going to tear you limb from limb.
Now, you're on 2 because I think you didn't get close enough to get genuinely scared. They flew
Okay.
off before you really faced your fears. And I think it was as scary as you looking at them at a zoo. Nina, I'm putting you on 3 because you were vulnerable.
But was I brave?
Not really. And Jimmy, I'm putting on 4, even though it was disappointing. I think that Luke was the bravest of all. And he faced the biggest fears that we all face, and that is what's inside us.
In the lead with 15 points, it's Nina Oyama.
Yeah, this is a Bridget Christie episode.
Please put on your mitts.
Oh.
Okay.
They have, like, chopsticks in them.
That's correct.
Wearing your chopstick gloves, de-pineapple the pizzas and put the pineapple in your bowls. If you want a new pizza, you may request one from Tom C by asking him accurately and politely in Italian. The contestant with the most pineapple juice extracted wins. Sorry.
We will be juicing your pineapple.
Tom, so like full Italian or like Chris Pratt as Mario?
The accent is not a must, but the Italian must be accurate.
I'm going to come out and be controversial. I am pro Hawaiian pizza. I have zero problem with pineapple on a good pizza. It is a Canadian invention. Oh! Nina's kicking butt here.
It's me wanting a pizza.
Look at Nina's crushing this with the mouth technique. Now the task said using your chopstick mitts.
Andiamo, Tom Cashman. Grazie, grazie. Oh, sorry.
That was fun. Different. Why not just weigh the pineapple? I wonder about the juicing technique that makes this. Is there a loophole there?
5 disgusting cups of pineapple juice.
Oh.
Tom 2, talk us through
Nina's is smaller than I would have, unless she's already drunk a bunch of it.
Nina had 30 mils. She had so much bacon in her bowl that it clogged the juicer.
Oh no.
Danielle, who had 32, Julia had 64, and then Jimmy had 70 mils.
I'm thinking I'm just going to play it on volume because I would hate to do a taste test.
We have a tie for first place, Jimmy and Nina on 17 points each.
Tie break.
The first tiebreaker in Taskmaster Australia history. Clap as many times as possible in 60 seconds. Let's see how Jimmy and Nina did.
Oh, they've already done this. Okay.
Now.
It's slowing down. I can't go.
I think Nina's got this. Oh, maybe not. 60 seconds is tough.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Numbers? No idea.
So Jimmy had 352 claps.
That's a lot.
There could have been more, but some of them his hands didn't even touch. But Nina is the winner with 372 claps.
I'm having a blast with this series. Some genuinely hilarious moments. The tasks remain really, really well designed. For the most part, they're brand new, and the stuff that is derivative of other tasks still has a fun twist on it. But this episode really goes to show you can't judge the contestants too much from just a single episode. I would have said Nina would be a complete wild card and probably wouldn't win, but she put in a really strong episode. Now, I'm drawing the Bridget Christie comparisons again because I really feel like she's got some of that same energy. She just thinks a little differently. She's very creative. This episode, it tended to hit. Last episode, it tended to miss. But I like her. I like her as a contestant. I like her energy on stage. She's becoming my favorite. Although I like Luke a lot too. Luke really endeared himself to me with his phone call to his mom this episode. Because we've all been on that phone call to our parents that we just can't escape. And, normally it's just our time on the line. But this, in this particular case, points were on the line too. And yet he couldn't be rude to her. He couldn't just suddenly pretend like, he couldn't even say that his battery was low. That's how much he's a good son. And I loved that struggle that he was going through. It was highly entertaining. And I would not have been surprised at all if that ended up being like an hour plus phone call. That it was only 20 minutes is only moderately disappointing. But man, I laughed so much seeing that. But let's go through the task. Most satisfying thing to touch. I've heard good things about Connect Sand. I've seen it, but I've never actually come across it. So I don't know how it feels. I think Julia and Luke both made the mistake of what feels best when someone touches it. How it feels good when you're whatever this spot on your hand is called when it's touched, but it doesn't necessarily, like, that sensation isn't giving me anything. It's the result. Same with the prostate. I'm surprised no one brought in a pet. Like, give me a fluffy kitten, or a cute puppy dog or something. Or I don't know, like that super soft blanket, that super cozy blanket that you use, or something like that. No one went that way. Danielle painted a really sad picture of a lonely child touching plants to see that small reaction. Although, I mean, to be fair, it's a cool reaction when you discover those sensitive weeds that retract their fronds when they're touched. And she got some pity points there with the win. And yeah, I'm not really going to comment on Nina's button, the pin screen thing. It's probably just safer that way. The phone calls. Get someone to hang up on you. I honestly, the only viable tactic for this task is faking a bad connection or a butt dial. Two people chose the bad connection, Jimmy and Nina, and they both did pretty well there, getting off within a couple of minutes. Julia was even smarter and faked the butt dial. Just don't say anything. And Danielle made this horrible mistake of sounding like she might have been overdosing on drugs while calling her grandmother. And she panicked, and she backed out because she didn't want her grandmother to have a heart attack. And I don't blame her, because, I mean, the best part about that task was the design of it, making you in particular have to call an elderly an older family member. It's brilliant, because you can be a little bit rude to your kid brother, or whatever, but you can't be rude to your parents or your grandparents or your aunts or uncles or something. Like, there's an inherent level of respect in there that can only be overcome by a bad phone connection. Case in point, Luke, who just got caught in a phone call to mom, which, as we all know, can end up with 34 different topics in 20 minutes. And just seeing the agony on his face when, I think he realized pretty early on he had lost, but the fact that he just couldn't end it was hilarious and so much fun. Let the cat out of the bag. I love tasks like this. New Zealand had one quite similar last season, where all the buckets were perched up on the balcony, and each one had a rope on it, and they were all there were 26 of them, one for each letter of the alphabet, although we didn't know that, but which one had the duck in it, and it was in the one that corresponded with D, and fewest ropes pulled led to, that was that version of the task. This one had fewest bags opened, but it's all about finding the cat. I like the way they edit. They're doing a good job of, for the most part, editing these tasks. And I think they did a good job on this task in particular, because they showed Jimmy first. And it's funny because, Jimmy opened a bunch of bags. But it also revealed the hot and cold foods inside that told you whether you were hot or cold in finding it. Chilies were the closest, then hot dogs, there was milk, there was ice. Really clever, and clever of Jimmy for figuring it out. But it also made me think immediately, there's got to be something else to this as well. And the something else was the top view. Kudos to Danielle and Luke for figuring that out. Danielle figured it out without opening anything. Luke took a couple of random stabs first before figuring out, but he still did pretty well. Julia thought she read what it was, and I think she said it spelled TCAT, which is some Australian acronym related to the broadcast industry or something. Tell me what it stands for if that's what she said. Obviously, she made a mistake. The fact that she kept referencing the drone that was buzzing overhead made it especially funny, posing for dronies multiple times. I wonder, when you're filming these tasks outside the house, whether there's always a drone directly overhead. Because I don't think there is. And I think if there is, that's a clue. That makes me think the top-down view matters. And that would hopefully motivate me to get up on the balcony and take a look. Because, I mean, it's such a simple solve if you just look at it from above. It's such a brilliant, simple solve. And yet, Nina almost had an equally brilliant solve just by peeking in the small hole at the top of each bag. And she found the cat in 2. She got a little bit lucky, for sure, but she solved it nonetheless. And I love that there were 3 different ways to solve it with some level of strategy. That's what I think I love about this task the most. Like, you could just put 100 bags out and make it pure luck. There's no way to tell other than opening the bags. This is also like find the Satsuma in the sock task from Taskmaster Series 7 that Rod Gilbert broke by putting a Satsuma into a sock. Someone could have. I wonder if you had scoured the house, whether you could find a stuffed cat that you could then put into a bag to let out of the bag, and how the Taskmaster may have interpreted that. But yeah, I love that there were 3 completely different ways of solving this task. You could get an aerial view, look at it, see the arrow pointing to one bag. Best solve. But you could start opening bags and realize that there's a pattern to what food is in each bag. Not as successful, but a real strategy. That's how Jimmy pulled it off. There was a cheat, so to speak, of looking through the small hole, which is how Nina solved it. I love that all those options were there and all were discovered and all worked to varying levels of success. And I love that there's also a complete fail in that task in Julia's case, who just had no system whatsoever and had a bit of bad luck and ended up opening over 70 bags before she found the cat. I love it. That task had everything. I'd be thrilled if there was a task like that every week. Not obviously that same format, but with that same kind of outcome. That makes me really, really happy as a Taskmaster nerd, a task like that. The next task, do something brave with this ream of paper. I actually really liked Jimmy's solve to this one. Tackling one of his own fears, the fear of being stabbed in the eye with the prong of an umbrella. I like that. I feel like it was completely in the spirit of the task. I think the only people that really used the paper creatively in this task were Danielle and Luke, to varying levels of success. I like Danielle making the paper sword and the paper shield. Chasing after geese with them, maybe not the right solution. Although I, too, was fascinated to hear more about her grandmother being attacked by a goose. A half dollar-sized circumference chunk out of the calf is nothing to laugh at. I'm not sure I would have given 5 points to Luke, but Luke does feel like the kind of individual who is eternally anxious and needs to be brave on a daily basis just to, go outside and interact with others, which I can respect as an introvert myself. I was quite taken with Nina's bravery in that task. I thought her vulnerability was like actually quite poignant and sad, and therefore brave. But maybe I would have flipped her and Luke in the standings in this one. But I also understand why the Taskmaster may not want to encourage. There was no humor in Nina's solve, so to speak. It was just, that's sad, and you want to encourage the humor on Taskmaster for sure. So it was probably beneficial scoring in that regard. And apparently Nina didn't need the points because she was kind of crushing most of the tasks this episode. The final task, the pizza, I was worried Nina would actually get disqualified in this one because she wasn't using the chopstick mitts. She was using her mouth, and I'm pretty sure the task said, using the mitts, remove pineapple from these pizzas. I feel like I thought Nina won that, but if there's too much bacon and it clogs the juicer, what are you going to do, I suppose? Tasks like that are always a challenge to film and follow because you've got 5 separate competitors all doing the same thing at once, so it's tough to gauge who's performing best. So it really is kind of a mystery when you get back down to the chairs to declare the results. We got our first tie of the series and a surprisingly close tiebreaker. How many times can you clap in a minute? They were both averaging very close to 6 claps a second for an entire minute. That's pretty dang impressive. Nina pulled out the win by just 20 claps over 60 seconds, so good for her. And yeah, a properly good episode. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to more. I hope you guys are enjoying this show too. I hope if you are fans of the original series that you are checking out these international versions. Watch the whole thing. I can't include the entire episode in my reactions, and as much as I appreciate you watching my reactions, check out the originals too, because they are hilarious, and I do have to leave a bunch of their bad pun jokes on the cutting room floor. Check out Taskmaster New Zealand, Taskmaster Australia. Check out some of the European versions. If you can handle subtitles on your screen, they're worth checking out for sure. And we will be checking out more of those as time progresses. I can only do so much Taskmaster a week. I hope you understand, but we're doing Series 15 right now in parallel with this, and we're going to be revisiting the early series of Taskmaster, the original that I watched before I started the channel 2 years ago. But we will be getting back. We have Taskmaster New Zealand Series 1 in the queue. We have Markongen Befaler from Norway in the queue. And who knows, maybe we'll be checking out Taskmaster Quebec. There's Swedish, Danish, Finnish versions that are apparently worth checking out. There's so much Taskmaster out there. If all you've seen is the original UK version, I encourage you to broaden your horizons. There's some really good content out there, and it's definitely worth seeing. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me a little bit today here on Neil Talks. I really value your time, your thoughts, your opinions. Please don't forget to do those things that let YouTube know you're having fun here on Neil Talks with this programming. And until next week, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.